As a neurologist, I've seen it all: strokes, trauma, rare neurological disorders. But one situation shook me to the core and completely changed the way I think. He was a typical patient, 67 years old, active, barely any complaints. Ate well, didn't smoke, took vitamins for prevention. But the next morning, he was found unconscious. Stroke. MRI showed bleeding. His blood pressure had spiked, and it all happened overnight. I couldn't believe it. No ischemia, no major atherosclerosis, no high cholesterol. Just one thing stood out: he'd recently started taking a certain vitamin. All my career, I said vitamins were safe. But turns out there's a catch, especially in older adults, especially if taken just in case. There's one vitamin heavily marketed as a cure-all for vessels, for the heart. But it has a dark side almost nobody talks about. Taking this vitamin can drastically alter blood clotting. And that's a direct path to stroke, especially at night when the body is most vulnerable. Yes, it sounds strange, even absurd, but it's these little things that become fatal. And if you're over 60, this directly concerns you. Since childhood, we've been told vitamins are good, the more the better. But that's a myth. After 60, the rules change. The body becomes more sensitive. What once helped you can now overload your system or trigger disaster. I'll tell you what this vitamin is, why it's not always dangerous but can easily become a hidden trigger, and how to avoid this mistake. You'll learn how the mechanism works, why blood vessels are most vulnerable at night, and how to prevent this explosive reaction. Before we go further, subscribe to this channel. We don't deal in scare tactics, just real medicine backed by clinical data and practice. And in the comments, let us know. Do you take vitamins? Which ones? And who recommended them? Your answer could help others stay safe. Now let's find out which vitamin is hiding more danger than meets the eye. The vitamin we're talking about is vitamin E, marketed as the youth antioxidant. It's found in creams, supplements, and multivitamins. But after age 60, it acts very differently. In younger people, it protects cells. But in older adults, it can change blood viscosity, making it either too thick or too thin. The form and dose make all the difference. The problem? Many take it without guidance, just in case. One capsule can contain up to 400 milligrams, 10 times the recommended daily dose. And here's what happens. At night, when your vessels are most relaxed and blood pressure unstable, vitamin E can trigger a sudden shift in clotting. That's a serious risk. It's especially dangerous for people with hypertension, varicose veins, arrhythmia, even if symptoms are mild. Vitamin E can conflict with medications and silently cause harm. I had a patient, a 72-year-old man, active, didn't drink or smoke. He started taking vitamin E for his vessels. 3 weeks later, ischemic stroke. Not a single symptom warned him. His blood pressure was normal. Only later we discovered the dose was too high, and he had been taking it without breaks. His blood vitamin E levels were off the charts. Clotting was impaired. The clot didn't form from illness, but from trying to do the right thing. And this wasn't a rare case. It's just that almost no one connects a stroke to an innocent capsule taken by millions. Vitamin E comes in two forms: natural, D-alpha-tocopherol, and synthetic, DL-alpha-tocopherol. The difference is huge. Natural is absorbed gently. Synthetic can overwhelm receptors. Most cheap supplements use the synthetic kind. Labels don't make this obvious, but it's the one most often linked to complications. In people over 60, synthetic vitamin E can accumulate because the liver and kidneys process it more slowly. This stresses the heart and blood vessels. Now imagine, in the evening a capsule, at night increased viscosity, in the morning a clot. No pain, no warning, just consequences. Many take vitamin E just in case, but that case can be fatal, especially if there's a family history of stroke or heart attack. Now let's break down when vitamin E is helpful, in what doses and forms, and when it turns into a threat. Let's start with dosage. The World Health Organization recommends no more than 15 milligrams of vitamin E per day. That's a maximum, not a goal. But many 50-plus supplements contain 200 to 400 milligrams. That's 1,300% of the daily value. Even a single dose may pose a risk. As we age, the body struggles with excess. What used to clear out easily at 30 now stays in tissues at 70 and builds up. This is especially true of synthetic DL-alpha tocopherol. It may disrupt the balance of other vitamins and increase inflammation risk. The natural form, D-alpha, is rarer. It's more expensive, gentler, and in low doses may be beneficial, but even then, only when truly needed. The safest form of vitamin E is food: nuts, seeds, avocado, olive oil, spinach. These give physiological doses, no overloads. A handful of almonds gives you 7 to 8 milligrams of vitamin E. The body gets it alongside fats, fiber, and enzymes. Absorption is balanced. A capsule, however, is an isolated megadose. No context, no support, and it can blow up internal biochemistry. If you're already taking vitamin E supplements, review your dose. Talk to your doctor, especially if you have issues with blood pressure, heart, or circulation. Sometimes the best move isn't to add, but to remove the excess. Let your body restore its balance without interference. Why are more doctors concerned about vitamin E in older adults? Because its impact intensifies at night when blood vessels are most vulnerable. Imagine, you go to bed, your heart rate slows, arteries relax, blood pressure fluctuates. Meanwhile, your blood contains a powerful antioxidant that alters clotting. At that moment, an extra capsule can become a trigger. Not instantly, not obviously, but the effect accumulates. This is especially dangerous if you're taking blood pressure medication, aspirin, warfarin, or other blood-affecting drugs. The body doesn't always scream right away. Early signs include lightheadedness in the morning, brain fog, or weakness in the hands. Then come nighttime blood pressure spikes, heaviness in the back of the head, poor sleep, or frequent unexplained awakenings. Important, these aren't minor issues. These are signals from your vascular and nervous systems trying to handle an internal imbalance. And this is where the risk builds, because the accumulated excess can, at any moment, trigger a serious event like a stroke during sleep. A stroke isn't always dramatic. It can be silent, a microstroke later showing up as slurred speech, clumsiness, or tremors. And it all began with a well-meaning but uncontrolled habit. Taking vitamin E for prevention, without a reason, without labs, without awareness. The good news? You can support your blood vessels, brain, and energy without risky supplements. Vitamin E is important, but it's best sourced from food, where it's naturally balanced by nature. A handful of nuts, a bit of unrefined oil, avocado, or seeds all contain vitamin E in its safest, most bioavailable form. In this form, it doesn't overload your system. It comes with fats, fiber, and other antioxidants, everything in balance. And if you truly want to protect your brain and vessels, after 60 start with a test. Your vitamin E levels are easy to check. Only a blood test will show whether you're deficient or already overloaded, and whether you need it at all. A supplement isn't a universal good. It can be medicine or poison. It all depends on context. Health after 60 is about balance. Not more vitamins, but more awareness, calm, and precision. You can support your brain and circulation differently. Movement, deep sleep, healthy fats, less sugar, and stress relief. It's not fast, but it's stable. No crashes, no hidden consequences. And that's what real health is. Many people over 60 start taking vitamins just in case. No tests, no real need, just out of fear. Vitamin E tops this list. It's recommended for heart, skin, youth. But they forget, it's fat-soluble. It accumulates in the body. That means even small daily doses build up. Unlike vitamin C, it doesn't flush out at stores and can exceed the safety threshold. It's even more dangerous when multiple supplements are taken at once, like a multivitamin plus antioxidant blend plus extra vitamin E. Even doctors may not realize the total dose can go beyond 200 to 300%, especially in older adults with slower metabolism. Now imagine, you're sleeping, vessels relax, pressure fluctuates, and the blood suddenly thickens. That's a stroke waiting to happen. No one expects a vitamin to be harmful, but that's what disrupts fragile balance, striking the body at night. The most disturbing part? You won't feel it right away. No pain, no warning, only the consequences. That's why we made this video to warn you, so you don't fall victim to healthy fanaticism. Because health isn't about how many supplements you take. It's about understanding, about awareness, and about choosing to trust your body not your fears. So why do people keep taking high doses of vitamin E? The answer is fear. Fear of missing out, of not being protected, of not doing enough. We've been trained to think, if something's good, take more. That's deficit thinking. But your body doesn't want more, it wants on time and just right. Sadly, many supplements are marketed as magic pills with no risks, no dosage concerns, no testing needed. Meanwhile, vitamin E is on the list of substances that can alter blood clotting and increase the risk of thrombosis. Even the WHO warns long-term doses above 150 to 200 milligrams may be harmful. But packaging doesn't always tell the truth. Natural on the label doesn't mean safe. Vitamin E comes in many forms: tocopherol, tocotrienol, alpha, beta, delta, and they all behave differently. Most supplements only contain alpha tocopherol, which can block other forms and cause imbalance. Your body doesn't crave one isolated form. It wants diversity, like in food, where everything works in harmony. Because health isn't a monologue, it's a dialogue of cells, enzymes, neurons, the heart, and even emotions. And it can't be built from a single capsule. Another dangerous illusion? Combo supplements with everything at once. Omega, E, K, Q10, magnesium all packed into one capsule. But that's not how it works. Vitamins don't like crowds. They compete and disrupt each other's absorption, especially in high doses. For instance, excess vitamin E interferes with vitamin K absorption, and vitamin K regulates blood clotting. So what happens? Yes, higher risk not just of clots, but internal bleeding too, especially if you take blood pressure meds. And here you are, thinking you're helping your body, but in reality, you're setting up an invisible conflict between substances. The body can't adapt. Blood turns thick one day, thin the next. Pressure fluctuates. Fatigue creeps in. And you blame it on aging when the cause might be hiding in that bottle of vitamins. That's why you shouldn't chase complexes. You need to understand what each component does, especially after 60. What works best? Tests and a personal plan. With a doctor who knows you. Not a blog, not a trend, but real contact. Because the goal isn't lots of vitamins. It's just one thing: a clear mind, steady body, and smooth rhythm. Another myth: if it's natural, it can't hurt. But curare poison is natural too. Natural doesn't mean safe. Safety comes from knowledge, observation, and consistency. After 60, the body becomes more sensitive. The balance tips. What once helped may now overwhelm. That's not weakness. It's maturity, and it deserves respect. Support it, don't force it. Every supplement is like a conversation partner. It can be a friend or an intruder in an ongoing dialogue in your body. Before you intervene, listen. What does your body need right now? What is it already trying to tell you? Sometimes the best supplement is a pause, a walk, sleep, water, a peaceful dinner, warmth, and if you add something, do it with respect. Not just in case, but with intention. That's how mature health works. Not chasing, not fearing, but building your own rhythm. Your body isn't a lab. It's not an experiment site. It's your living space. So, vitamin E isn't the enemy, but it's also not the youth vitamin people claim. After 60, it may be unsafe, especially if taken without testing, without medical need, in high doses, or alongside other medications. The risk isn't just what we take. It's what we ignore signals from our body: fatigue, blood pressure, sleep. Real health after 60 isn't about more vitamins. It's about precision, attention, and knowing when to pause. Before swallowing a pill, just in case, ask, do I really need it? Sometimes a pause is the best prevention. Listen to your body. Eat well. Move. Sleep. Get tested. And make choices not out of fear, but from knowledge. If you've already been taking vitamin E, don't panic. Just reevaluate the dose. Consult a doctor. Keep living at your pace. And if this video helped you look at health differently, support us. Subscribe if you value honest, in-depth health explanations without fear-mongering or hype. And in the comments, tell us, which vitamins do you take and why? Let's share real experiences without judgment.